Good morning, Algebra 2. Here is a quick review of factoring in case you need to fix or finish any of the previous Algebra 2 assignments. There's a couple different kinds of factoring. The first one is just looking for the greatest common factor. Number 2 is a little more complicated than number 1, so I'm going to show you that one. On number 2, you have to look. Do they have any numbers that are in common? Those are both even numbers and they're both small, so you can take a 2 out. So technically, you're dividing that. So you're going to divide that 2 out. In this case, unlike in this one, they both have K's. So you take the smallest stack, pile, label, whatever you want to call it. You take the smallest set of K's. So a single K is the smallest set. You take that out. So 2 divided by 2, that's gone. I have 2 K's. I take away 1. That guy goes away. So I have a K left. Over here, 4 divided by 2 is 2. K divided by K is nothing. So that would be the most that you could do to factor that one. Another type of factoring is where you have 4 terms and you group them. So you're going to group those 2 and those 2 together. I'm going to grab a different pen because this one is dead. Okay, so now that you have groups of 2, you are going to do exactly what you did in number 2. You're going to look to see what do they have in common. So this first set, they do not have any numbers in common, but they both have an A, and a single A is the smallest one. So you're going to take a single A out of both of those terms. So I put that out into the front. 2 A's, take away 1. I have 1 left. Minus 4 does not change. Those A's cancel out. What's nice about a 4-term one is that you know whatever you get in these parentheses after you take something out, you should get for both the first set and the second set. So we know going into this set, we want it to look like A minus 4 in the back. So now I have to look at this guy. What do I take out of him so that all that's left is A? Well, the only thing attached to it is a 6. So we're going to take out the 6 and take out the 6. So it's a plus in between. The 6 is positive. Those cancel out. I have A left. Negative 24 divided by 6 is negative 4. You're not quite finished. So then you take the stuff that's in front and you put it together. And you take the repeat and you put it back there. That is your final answer. Okay, so then your next, you have 3 other types, I guess. So I guess you have 5. You have 3 other types. You have a 3-termer where A in ax squared is 1. That is all of these. You have a 3-termer where A is not 1. And then you have a difference of squares. So I'm going to do 1 from 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to do 1 from 7 and 8, and I'm going to do 1 from 9 and 10. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and jump on down to number 6. So you're looking at here, you have a 1 as your A, and to do these, you take A times C. And you make your little T-chart, and then you put B, which is your middle term, so that's A, that's B, that's C, and you put B back here. So 1 times negative 35 is negative 35. B is negative 2. Okay, so here's the thing. When this number on this side is negative, one of your 2 factors will be negative. When this side is also negative, the bigger number of your factors will be negative. So you think about multiples of 35. Thankfully, there's not many of them. You have 1 and 35, and you have 5 and 7. And like I just said, because this guy's negative, the bigger number is your negative number. So then you add those 2 together. So this one becomes negative 34. This one becomes negative 2, which makes him our winner. This guy gets separated. So you get x squared minus 7x plus 5x minus 35. It doesn't really matter which way you go. However, typically putting the negative in front allows you not to worry about how to take a negative out of the back group. So now we have a 4-termer, and this becomes like number 3. You group the first 2, you group the back 2. And then we repeat and we look for the greatest common factor. between x squared and 7x? Well, that's just x. So if I take an x out of each of those, 2x's divided by x, I have x left. 7x divided by x, I have that 7 left. So again, I know I want my second parentheses to look just like this one. So I'm just going to put it down because I know I want that there. So the question becomes, how do I get this 5x to look like x? What do I have to take out? I have to take out a 5. So you divide by 5, divide by 5. What's that 5 out there? Those cancel out. You get x. Negative 35 divided by 5, you get 7. So then you take your repeat, and you get x minus 7 because they both have those. And then you take what's left over. It does not matter which order your final answer is in. It could be x plus 5 times x minus 7 or x minus 7 times x plus 5. They're all the same. Okay, so that is where A is 1. That will work for number 4, 5, 6, and 11. And then we're going to come up here to 7 and 8, where x is not 1. I'm sorry, not x. A is not 1. We will look at number 7 because as you can see, 3, 17, and 10, none of those numbers work nicely together. So there's not like a greatest common factor that you can take out. Hint, hint, on number 8, all of these are even. So you're going to divide that 2 out before you start, and then you will do that problem just like you did 4, 5, 6, and 11. So let's look at number 7 since it's a little more complicated. This is A, this is B, this is C. So again, you take A times C, which is 3 times 10. That gives you 30. And then over here, you put B, and that is 17. What's nice about this is that everybody's positive, so you don't have to worry about negative numbers anywhere. And then you want to think about what are all of my factors of 30. This one has a little more than 35, but not a ton. So obviously, 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. And that's it. Those are all of them. Then you add these two terms together. So you get 31, 17, 13, and 11. This guy's your winner. Did I have to go beyond that? No, but I think sometimes you guys don't know your multiplication very well, so it's a nice little help to go through them all and make sure we didn't miss anything. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take and split these two up. Now, because I can see math a little bit better than sometimes you guys can, 2 and 3, there's nothing in common with them. 15 and 3, there is something in common with. So when I write these, I'm going to put my 15 first when I split this guy up. So I'm going to do 3x squared plus 15x plus 2x plus 10. And then you're going to group them, and you're going to look for the greatest common factor. Well, now I have quite a bit that's in common between these two terms. 3 goes into both of them, and so does x. So on this particular one, I'm going to take a 3x out. 3's cancel, x and x, I'm left with x. 15 divided by 3 is 5, x is cancel, and now I'm left with x plus 5. Again, I know this one has to become x plus 5. So I'm going to put that down. I know it's a plus, and so then I'm going to look, 2x to x. I got to get rid of the 2. So I'm going to take the 2 out. And when I do that, I'm left with x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. My repeat is x plus 5. And my outside is 3x plus 2. And that is your final answer on that one. The last one that we're going to look at is 9 and 10. These are the difference of squares, meaning that this is a perfect square and this is a perfect square. This is a perfect square and this is a perfect square. So you're literally going to just take the square root of it. Is that the math correct way to do it? Probably not, but it's the shortcut. So the square root of this guy and the square root of this guy. So you're going to get, this is 2x, and this is 7. The difference of squares, notice that there is no third term, so you have to have a positive and a negative for them to cancel each other out. So this guy is 2x plus 7 times 2x minus 7. And that is it. Good luck.